This video has been classified as M. It is recommended for people aged 15 years and over.
Good game.
What the hell is this?
Somebody doesn't want to play soldier anymore.
What's your name?
Staff Sergeant Josh Forbes, service number 867530.
When we actually originally pitched this game, we were looking at reviving the franchise, but we wanted to do something really new. So, we looked at the old games for research to get kind of an idea of what was there. But more than anything, we just kind of wanted to start with a blank slate and do something that was really our own.
Hang on. I'll get you out of there.
It wasn't so much the Spec Up franchise specifically that we really wanted to do. What it was that we really liked this idea of having a sort of mature military story. So it's something, we're really big fans of, military movies, things like Platoon and Full Metal Jacket and Apocalypse Now, obviously, which, the game is pretty heavily inspired by. We wanted to do something with that in gaming since, military games are obviously huge right now. But they tend to have this kind of, Michael Bay over the top, rah, 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 go America kind of thing. And, first off, that's not really what war is about. But also, I think that, when you look at war literature and war movies, that's never been what that's been about. And so we wanted to kind of do something like that in the medium that, we were really passionate about.
I don't know who you are. No one does. And that's dangerous.
Dangerous to who?
Everyone.
What I would say is kind of a little bit of a tension between the emotional goal that we want to have, which is to, tell this really serious, really dark, mature story that, looks at war in a serious way, and also have the player have fun. It's still, meant to be like a kick-ass shooter and still have, big, exciting moments and that kind of thing. And we sort of use that tension to kind of make the whole thing be a little more effective. So we have moments, for instance, where we'll have a scenario that you play through where you're having a lot of fun and you're laughing yourself because you're wiping out this military base and you're like, yeah, take that, you guys. And then a moment later, you see the consequences of your actions. The fact that it was this sort of gleeful, over-the-top, epic scene a moment ago, it just makes it that much more heart-wrenching when you have to actually see, what you did. One thing for us that we wanted to avoid was making a strong political statement, because and it's not so much that we're worried about the controversy, it's just that we didn't want the kind of story that we want to tell to get lost in that. I mean, that's part of the reason, too, why the setting is so fantastic, and why, for us, it was really more about authenticity and not, strict realism. So we intentionally avoided, doing something like having it set in Iraq or something like that. We wanted to really have just a setting that was, like, remarkable and amazing and, really kind of, and especially because with this sort of personal journey that we wanted to tell, we felt that this sort of fantastic version of Dubai covered in sand, it's just this incredible city architecturally, and just having it wiped out like that really fit what we were trying to do, where we take these guys who, are very, they're very upstanding, they're very clean, they're very good at what they do, and then we do a similar thing to them that we do at the city, where we kind of take them down a peg and wipe them out a little bit.
It's just in. An unwarranted assault on the 33rd today means, you guessed it, an end to the ceasefire. All insurgents wishing to surrender, please report to your nearest outpost.
Originally, we looked a little bit at doing like a sort of physical modeling of it, and that just honestly didn't make a lot of sense. Like, I think with a lot of things, the more you sort of hand animate them and that kind of thing, the better results you get just visually. And that was something that was really important to us, was to have something that was really striking and really awe-inspiring.
Last thing we heard out of Dubai was that Conrad was leading a caravan of survivors out of the city. That was 6 months ago.
I did some of the voice direction on the game, and the guy is absolutely incredible. So, I sort of went into it just thinking, yeah, I'll be another voice actor, whatever. But, first off, he's a blast to work with. He's just a super fun guy who's, always cracking jokes and doing crazy, he has a great Christopher Walken impression. He's just a great guy to hang around, but he's also, like, just amazingly professional, amazingly good at what he does. I mean, with most of the voice actors I've worked with, you really have to, you'll give them some sort of direction. You'll be like, okay, this is more of a combat situation, so, try to scream as if you're, shouting over gunfire, for instance. And it'll take a couple takes before they really get the hang of it. But, I mean, he would just, whip it out, just perfectly every time. And also the guy's got vocal cords of steel. You know, he would burn through hundreds of these combat lines in like an hour, when everyone else would have to take these breaks and get the I can't think what it's called right now, but the throat numbing spray and everything. And yeah, I was very impressed.
Son of a bitch!
I think the same way it is with movies or literature, there's gonna be a place for kind of everything. So there's going to be, a place for games like ours where, we take a really serious look, but I'm sure there'll still always be the big Hollywood blockbuster sort of, let's just have fun with it kind of approach as well. But I really hope and I really think that there'll be more of the kind of thing that we're making, because, I think movies have really shown that there's, 'cause the sort of the typical response to that is, that's, there's not a big enough audience for that. There's not going to be a lot of sales. But I think I think when you look at movies, you can see that that's not true. You have giant blockbusters that are also really, really well received critically. I mean, especially like I was saying, like a lot of these war movies are also were, it's millions of people went and saw Saving Private Ryan, for instance. But that was also, something that really took a pretty serious look at, how things are.